special grade level. I can work with that. What's up guys, Pencil here, and here to do a breakdown / live reaction and review to Gamblrr's every special grade level sorcerer in JJK. And I will admit, I'm just a teeny tiny bit excited. I'm a little bit geeked. Because this is an interesting topic. I personally have covered the difference between special grade level and special grade sorcerer on the channel before. I think there are many characters who are special grade level but aren't special grade sorcerers, and special grade sorcerers are all naturally special grade level because they are special grade. So this is going to be an interesting topic. This is a 17-minute and 18-second video from Gamblrr. So I think we got a lot of characters to cover because a lot of characters do scale to the special grade. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Are you ready?
3, 2,
1, go. What's up guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do into have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, I like to yap quite extensively. So right at the start of this, I pointed out that this is a 17-minute and 18-second video. I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, this video will be longer than that. So if you want to check out the original video, and I recommend you check out the original video, the link to Gamblrr's channel and the original video will be in the description down below. Please go check him out. He's a fantastic JJK content creator. He's a fantastic One Piece content creator. I'm not sure if he's branching out any further than that. Those are the main two things I know him for. I think he's covered other things like once or twice, but still, fantastic content creator. Check him out. Link will be in the description down below. If you found me, you'll find him. He's wonderful. Heavily edited videos, fantastic content, fantastic background music too. I mean, like, I'm just telling you a little bit. But with that being the case, link will be in the description down below. I'm going to be yapping a whole bunch. And speaking of yapping, first thing I do want to yap about is special grade level versus special grade sorcerer tier. Notably, there is a difference, because remember, the criteria for special grade is the ability to single-handedly wipe out a nation. That's the criteria. And that's why there's such a broad range within the special grade tier. Because you do have characters like Geto. What? 18-year-old remember, Geto became a special grade real young. Real young. That's a special grade sorcerer. You know who else is a special grade sorcerer? Fully adult Samsuru Gojo. Yeah. Master the Limitless in the Six Eyes. Mr. Box the strongest in the verse and gave him the best fight he had. Yeah. That is also a special grade sorcerer. So the range is broad for what it can be, but that doesn't mean that everyone who would scale to a teenage Geto would spontaneously be special grade or a special grade sorcerer. But they can be a special grade sorcerer tier threat as long as they scale to him. And that's why, in my opinion, the gap is so broad. Why there are so many special grade tier characters in terms of you can put these characters up in the realm of special grades in terms that they can box with them one-on-one. But hypothetically, they could not meet the criteria of soloing a nation. It's why I will sit here, look you directly in the face, and be like, oh yeah, absolutely, insert character here washes Geto, but they aren't a special grade sorcerer. I'll look you in the eyes. I've done it before and I'll do it again, gosh darn it. And I think that's what Gamblrr very specifically named the video every special grade level sorcerer. In fact, he capitalized special grade, but he didn't capitalize level, but that may be like just an algorithm trick and you learn how to do it myself. But still, level is definitely the point here. And I think that's what Gamblrr's going to go more in depth in and explain. I'll give my own thoughts every single character he brings up. I'll bring up characters who he doesn't bring up, who I think scale to special grades, because I'm assuming he may miss one. But then again, Gamblrr's really good at this stuff. So like, I wouldn't be shocked if he brings up literally every person I can think of. Like off the top of the dome piece, just people who scale to special grades. Kuro, Ryu, Uro, Kashimo, obviously Sukuna, Yuji, Maki, Toji. There's more. There's literally more. I know there's literally more off the top of my dome piece. There are more who I'm not remembering right off the top of my head because I'm thinking of this right off the dome. But there are a lot of characters who scale to special grade sorcerers. There are a lot. But who else am I missing? Drew would technically meet the qualifications for a special grade sorcerer. He would be a special grade by definition. But technically, at least from what we know, he doesn't actually scale to any of the special grades. Like, he gets one shot in low diff by base Ricolas Yuta, as far as we know. So, like, I don't know. It's kind of funky. Does he scale? I don't think so. But he wouldn't meet the criteria for special grade, considering he literally did conquer a nation by himself with his curse technique. Who am I? He's going to bring up a character, and I'm going to, like, smack my forehead later and be like, of course that character as well. But let's not waste any more time. Let's actually hop right into it.
Special grade, the peak of the Jujutsu world, only held by 4 sorcerers in the entirety of our beloved manga. Yuta, Gojo, Geto, and Yuki. This level of sorcery is only held by the best of the best, and in today's video, let's see if there's more of this caliber. What's up guys, Gamblrr here, and in today's video, we'll be redoing an old video I made at the beginning of my channel. Special grade. Who qualifies? Hope you guys enjoy, and so let's stop the yap and dive straight in. The reason special grade is so exclusive is because of the many requirements and specific criteria characters have to meet to become one. For one, we know directly that the requirement is the ability to overthrow a nation by yourself, as Kenjaku states to Choso.
And the ironic thing is, right? At least for my opinion. Once again, I let them talk for too long already. The main way I see every single special grade sorcerer being special grade is actually only one of them genuinely fighting the nation by themselves. That may sound crazy, but think about it. I don't think Yuta, if you were to take away Rika, could solo a nation. He wouldn't. He'd die. Like he'd lose. Like, this isn't complicated. Like, what does he do? What does he do? They can see Yuta. They can launch stuff at Yuta. Yuta, while he has really good stamina, he's not taking down the entire army. We've seen bro run out of juice. Of course, he'll be able to face take a lot of stuff, but he's not soloing an army. Not to talk about an entire nation, especially a nation that has certain thing on it. But Rika, if Yuta gives the command, Rika, go solo a nation, she's soloing a nation. There doesn't seem to be a range limit on Rika, as far as we know. And even then, Yuta could be real incognito about it. He could be chilling at a coffee shop while Rika's leveling a building, like legitimately. And people can't see Rika. People can't stop Rika. And Rika is literally like what? Arguably top 3 physically strongest in the verse, only behind like Ryu. Maybe top 2. One thing, she was throwing around Sukuna unmanifested. I'm not talking fully manifested. The characters are able to block and like tank Rika's hits like Geto. Like, it's weird. But still, yeah, no one's stopping Rika. Same thing with Geto. I don't see Geto single-handedly soloing a nation. He'll get tagged. He'll get hit. And he'll lose. He'll run out of stamina. But you know who could solo the nation? Them 6,000 plus curses he has, which are imperceptible and could wipe an entire nation before they realize what's happening. Because they literally wouldn't be able to see what's happening. Bada bing, bada boom. Yuki, definitely not soloing the nation. You know how low her stamina is? Not really low. It's just that she got hit by a sure hit on any extension, then burned a whole bunch of RCT. But still, she's not nation soloing caliber by herself. But you know what she could do? Fill Garuda with a bunch of mass, send him up into the sky, and drop him down. Y'all know what meteoric impacts do to things, right? Like Yuki can fill herself up and fill Garuda up with so much mass that she can literally negate concepts. Imagine throwing something heavy enough to negate reality and concepts at any sort of area. Y'all realize a meteor that was like barely, well, I forget what scale it is. I forget how big the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs was, but it wasn't actually that big. It wasn't like the size of a state or nothing. It was like a real big rock hit the planet hard enough and boom, it wiped out the megafauna and gave rise to us. That was just a big old rock. Yuki can definitely imbue more mass than that big old rock. And send Garuda, probably not as fast, but nearly just as fast. And then that's a nation gone. Gojo can just do it. Like no one's hitting Gojo. That's the thing. Gojo can literally just walk through a nation and like no one's stopping him. You may be like, but what if they drop something on him? Something big, something spicy, something a little bit radioactive. He can dodge that, y'all. He can dodge that. If he stayed in the same area, then yeah, he may probably get radiation poisoning. I'll readily admit that. But like, the man teleported, freeform, halfway across Japan. The big spicy boys, they all thinking of dropping on Gojo, he can teleport out of the range of quite easily. So like, it doesn't matter. Gojo could single-handedly solo a nation. But that's the thing. The other 3 that aren't literally number 2 in the verse, yeah, they can't solo a nation by themselves. They need to use their external things, such as your Rikas, your Garudas, your curses, in order to solo it. And that's why I say a character like Yuji would struggle to solo a nation. Because what does Yuji do when they drop something on him? He ain't got a world-cutting slash. He ain't got infinity. He can't teleport. He's not sending out things that represent him and he controls that are not him. No. He's just getting hit and then perishing immediately. He's not tanking that. Even if he tanks it, he dies from radiation poisoning. Same thing like a Maki or Toji. They're visible. Like, they may not understand what's happening with the sword, and they're going to do crazy numbers, but the moment they are in a general vicinity that gets dropped on, they're cooked. You can try to say they air hop away. They are not that fast. I am, and I'm a Maki and Toji Glazer. They are not escaping that. They're gonna have to resort to that. Because I really highly doubt that any traditional weaponry or any traditional military would probably do anything or be able to tag them. just because of, like Mach 3, stuff like that, and what they're able to react to with that. But of course, that was one thing. Maybe they could literally just be overwhelmed. Same thing with an Uro. Yeah, you can redirect a lot of sky stuff, but how much? That's the thing. When you're putting your body on the line, it's harder and harder to solo a nation. But the three of the 4 special grades, really all 4 of the special grades do not have to put their body on the line to go solo a nation, to go overthrow a country single-handedly. They don't need to do that. The only other characters who I think could legit be special grade sorcerers is Drew, because he's literally done it. He took over. It was a peninsula. It was a peninsula, admittedly, but once again, he could just pull the Yuta strat and send out imperceptible gargantuan beasts to solo a nation, and then bada bing, bada boom, cooked. And then that's the thing, though. I'm not sure what wins, Ryu's Granite Blast or a big boy or a little boy, whatever you call it. I actually don't know. It really depends on where you scale for you and his Granite Blast. If you think they're city block level, he's gonna try and blast it and blow up in his face, and then he's cooked. But honestly, Ryu could arguably, it depends on his stamina though. He may legit run out of energy. I'm not sure how many Granite Blasts that man can fire. He can wipe out whole swaths of people, but some may will fall on his dome piece, he may be cooked. That's the thing, he's putting his body on the line. He's still human. He could still fall to radiation poisoning and stuff like that. So he'd get pretty far, but he'd probably be stopped. And that's how I feel about a lot of characters. Yuji would get far, but he'd be stopped. Maki and Toji could get far, they'd be stopped. Insert character, Uro could get far, she'd be stopped. Ryu could get far, but he'd be stopped. So many characters would get real good numbers in, but they'd be stopped. But that's why I say special grade level is different from special grade sorcerer. I don't think Yuji Itadori is a special grade tier sorcerer. Or he's not a special grade sorcerer. I don't. But is he a special grade tier sorcerer? Absolutely. Easily. He scales massively above a lot of the special grades. I think he scales better than Yuta, at least physical stats-wise. Not Rika, but at least Yuta. Yuta's a special grade. At least Geto. And Geto's a special grade. At least. Yuki. Okay, maybe not physical strength and strength, but overall scale, special grade. So, there are ways. But I'm yapping too much. Let's actually let Gamblrr cook a little bit.
Gojo was able to do this because, we already had a statement that he could kill everyone in the world if he wanted to. Yuki could do it because her curse technique is so powerful it literally endangers the entire earth. Yuta can do it because of
But once again, I always say this about Yuki. And I know the Yuki fans are gonna be like, Pencil, cease this. And I will. Never. But I will one day. Maybe. If I feel like it. But Yuki's black hole is not a win con. I mean, do you think Final Explosion for Vegeta is a win con? And I'm not talking about Super Final Explosion. I'm talking about, Majin Vegeta Final Explosion. That's a double KO. That's not a win. Just if Yuki souls the planet by making a black hole out of herself, that's not a win. That's a we shall go together on some Zen Cage 2 type beat. That's not a win. So, I say Garuda Spirits of Heaven, just boom, detonating entire areas because it's invisible and a massive impact. That's how I say Yuki. And wait. Yeah, Gojo has the statement and he could just do it. It's not hard to think of how Gojo can solo a nation, at least in my opinion.
Who has an infinite supply of cursed energy, so the outcome is plausible, but...
And once again, hold on, let me see.
The one I want to focus on is Geto.
Okay, so he's I still say Yuta needs Rika. I think if Yuta were to be fighting, I mean, maybe you could argue Rika could grab him in her hands and maybe protect him from a big La Bomba. But outside of that, I don't see Yuta. If Yuta himself is involved in the battle, he's going to lose. Just like if Yuki herself is involved in the battle, she's going to lose. If Geto himself involves himself in the battle of trying to solo, he's going to lose. They need to use their proxies. They need to use their invisible, unperceptible, extremely powerful proxies in order to do the soloing a nation thing. They cannot be there. At least in my opinion. I think all of them lose. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys agree with me? Do you think ultimately Geto, Yuki, and Yuta, they all need to have their proxies, aka Garuda, aka the curses, aka Rika, to go do the dirty work for them? Or do you think if they are there fighting alongside their proxies, they can still clutch out? Because personally, I don't think they can. That's just me, though. I mean, maybe Geto has 6,000 curses? If he's there, they're going to notice the one human dude. They're going to send all their resources at the one human dude. Let's see.
Geto is clearly not on the level of the other three. He lost to baby Yuta.
I've talked about this in depth in another Gamblrr video. I will raise the question once again, because I will raise it pretty late into that video, and I didn't see many people comment on it. But, question for just the scalers in general. For Geto, Well, no. One, did Rika get stronger or weaker by JJK 0 to main series? Or did she stay the same? Question by follow-up to that question. If she stayed the same, got stronger, or even got slightly weaker, then thusly, the Baby Yuta aspect of Geto losing is irrelevant because he fought fully manifested Curse Rika, which is the strongest version of Rika we've ever seen. I was able to hold her off while she was bloodlusted. He only lost because Yuta made a death-binding vow and decided to go 1-for-1, band for band in a laser contest with him because he was mentally nerfed and didn't want to actually fight Yuta, as we see. So, like, let me know. If you think that Geto is at all relative to Rika, who we know is relative to the characters later, is Geto actually that fodder? Me personally, I don't think so. I think he's actually kind of him. Because I can't really see, like, a counter argument. Because once again, there's no real statements for Rika's overall strength. Her being, what she's made of, we get statements about that. She's a husk, a relic of her former self. But she doesn't seem to get any weaker. Or actually, no, that's the thing. If she gets, it's actually worse. If she gets weaker by the time of the main manga, it's actually worse because that makes Geto stronger. If she gets stronger by the time of the main manga, then that's kind of fine. But that's super hard to quantify. That would make even less sense. If she stays the same issue. Where Geto's just super duper strong for some reason. Baby Yuta is kind of irrelevant. He's kind of irrelevant in the Geto discussion. At least in my opinion. Like, I'm all for downscaling Geto. You know, your boy, I'm all for downscaling Geto. But I am for glazing Kenjaku. So, like, by proxy, if I can glaze Geto, I'm glazing Kenjaku. And if I'm glazing Kenjaku, I'm happy. So, like, I don't know, y'all. Explain the circle jerk to me. How does that work? Because if Geto's able to block Rika, and Ryu's struggling to block Rika, don't that make Geto real powerful? I don't know. I'm saying.
No domain expansion and has no reverse curse technique. Literally nothing. The thing that put him at special grade was his curse technique.
Also, I'd say Geto still has really good stats. Once again, I agree. Geto's bag is pretty shallow. Unless you make a bold assumption that, okay, by proxy, he's a special grade, and he must have them. He just didn't use them against Yuta because they weren't invented yet. RCT was invented in Zero. Like, it was, like, Geto recognizes it as RCT in Zero. So we know it was invented. He just apparently didn't have it, or at least he didn't use it. And for Domain, and that's just something he didn't have, because Maxims were invented, but Domains weren't invented yet. So it is debatable, but yeah. His bag and him against other characters is rough. It's kind of bad. But Geto himself, stat-wise, he kind of beastly with the Rika Circle Jerk. Well, let's see.
With it, Geto has the potential to create an army of all cursed spirits he has in store. Heck, he let out some of them during the night parade, held up everyone on the other side, and was boxing with Yuta. This shows us that it's not particularly strength in specific that allows special grade. Unless you're just another tier above everyone like Gojo is, it's not really about that. With that being said, if you didn't notice, the wording of the title today is on purpose. Every special grade level character.
Yeah.
This is to emphasize that people can be at the special grade level, meaning being able to box with the actual special grades, but wouldn't necessarily be able to take down a country like the special grades can. There's also the other way around, as some characters can probably take down a country and be graded as a special grade, but isn't on the level of the others.
Druve. I think that's literally, is that the only example? Yeah, I think it's the only example. Because Kuro scales to Yuta. Somewhat. It's not good scaling, but it's low in relativity. So then he's special grade level. But like, it's literally, I'm trying to think of the only criteria. I think it's legit just Druve. Because I can't think of another character who has enough Shikigami, or enough scale of Shikigami, or proxy to control that could technically solo nation. Like, maybe, no, Megumi couldn't. Megumi definitely couldn't. He really couldn't. He needs to be there. We don't know the range of his Shikigami, but he needs to be there. And if you go with what Sukuna said, he doesn't even have Raga. He has some rabbits and a dog. But also the goat, mini elephant. Mini fan could solo nation. We'll see.
The main example of this is Principal Yaga. How many of y'all...
I completely forgot about Gangaruni. Yeah. Technically, yeah. I forgot about it. Because I hate that thing. And I always will. But let's see.
Knew that Yaga was supposed to be a special grade. Yeah, now imagine Yaga versus Yuki. So here's how this video is gonna go. I have a list of characters and I'm gonna explain which list they fit in.
I will admit though, the thing with Yaga is, it was purely hypothetical. Like, he could maybe make an entire Curse Puppet army, but he didn't have it. Unlike Geto, where he had it, and Yuki, where she has it, and Yuta, where he has it, like, That was pure spectacle or speculation. No idea. Let's see.
Special grade or special grade level. Makes sense? Let's get into it. Uraume Sukuna is the first character on this list, and I don't think anyone
I mentioned him when I was talking about Yuji, but yeah, Sukuna's obviously.
one is really surprised. He's the strongest in the verse and boxed with the strongest special grade, so he's at the bare minimum special grade level. As for taking out a country, it's pretty obvious he can do that as well. I mentioned earlier that Yuta is a special grade because Rika has unlimited curse energy, and also, well, Rika is strong as heck by herself. The same goes for Sukuna, but like times infinity. Sukuna not only has twice the curse energy pool of Yuta, but also his curse energy efficiency is so high that they compare it directly to the 6 eyes. Of course, the 6 eyes completely dwarf him. Gojo cannot lose curse energy, but regardless, this means Sukuna's stamina is unmatched by everyone except for Gojo. With that in mind,
Oh wait, maybe he's about to go into it. The one thing I'll admit though, with Sukuna versus a nation, it's gonna take him a while, but that's not an issue. He's right. Stamina wise, Sukuna could do it. If the man, at least according to this is from the manga. This isn't even me glazing Sukuna. I have to stretch, but I'm not glazing right now. In the manga, at least in some translations, I forget if it's in TCBs or the officials, but the two main translations that everybody used for JJK, it stated that Sukuna could use his domain expansion an infinite amount of times, endlessly. He couldn't. He doesn't. The only thing he needed to do was wait for the cooldown. That's the only thing. He didn't want to risk the brain damage, but as long as he waited for the cooldown, he could infinitely loop his domain expansion. After he'd already used it like 5 times that day. And he doesn't even need his domain desolate. Literally, if he just starts walking through an area and keeps chanting Recoil, Twin Stars, Scale of the Dragon, and just starts blasting off world cutting slides, he's good. He's good. Like what's stopping a world cutting slide? Nothing. But the only issue is, once again, he has to do it himself. He doesn't have a proxy. And it really depends on how you think dismantles and stuff interact with the big boys and the little like it really depends. Because if they drop one on him and he slashes it, would that make it explode? Would he still be hit with the RD? Is his RCT good enough? Is his RCT Hakari level? I don't think so. I don't think it's fully automatic. So if he gets radiation poisoning, he's gonna make it real far. He's like the closest where you think like he could probably do it until the big boys get launched at him. I think once they get launched at him, he's kind of cooked. And not even in the sense that he couldn't hit them all. Like that's the thing. He may be able to hit them all and cause them to explode in midair. That's the thing. He may be able to hit them all and cause them to explode in midair and then just dip out of there. He would have to leave immediately because the radiation poisoning would get him. I think it would. But then again, he's immune to poisons. But I feel like radiation poisoning is different from the kind of poison they talk about in JJK. But if you think he's strong enough to tank it, which you can make arguments. You can definitely make arguments for what? Because the strongest we know is like city level. So like you can make arguments for city level Sukuna very easily. You can make arguments for city level Sukuna. So you may be able to tank a couple, heal it off. And then if you think he's immune to poisons, then yeah, technically he does solo nation. Because even if they hit him with that, he either detonates it in midair because he recognizes that's coming for him. Because of course, bro has Peacock, he can see that, or just runs and then hits them anyway, lets them detonate, cause more chaos and havoc and destruction behind him as he scurries off and keeps launching. Like, so there is definitely a way. There's definitely a way he could do it, even without a proxy, just because of how powerful he is. And because of his hypothetical immunity to RD poisoning, though admittedly that part's a little bit more headcanon debatable, because we don't know. We don't know if it goes that far. But he is said to be immune to poisons. And technically, RD poisoning is still a poison. But I'm not sure if he was ever introduced to RD poisoning, ever. I keep saying RD, radiation. Let's see.
and Sukuna can send slashes that destroy buildings and the area around him with 0 effort. Dozens, hundreds, heck, thousands of times without breaking a sweat.
Remember, not even just no effort. He doesn't have to point. He points for the love of the game. He lets you know he's going to slash you. He doesn't have to do that. He could literally, like the anime does it perfectly when in the Jogo fight, where it shows that Sukuna can just make an infinity barrier around himself by using his technique without moving an inch. It's like, he just does that, but lets it go super duper far. Yeah, everyone's cooked naturally.
Not to mention his domain expansion and fire arrow that turns everything within it to ash. Now that I realize it, didn't Sukuna technically do this back in the Heian era? During the Yorozu flashback, we see that Sukuna
Kind of? He didn't. I mean, he overthrew a nation, but that was more so like the nation feared him because they knew what he was, and they were like, "Let's not run smoke with him." And then he did like Soul the Void Generals, but that's not everybody. That's not like I mean, that's a whole nation at that time. But I think modern nation versus the nation of that time are two fundamentally different things. And what was the other thing I was going to say? I think his domain expansion is actually kind of pointless. Like if I'm being honest, 200 meters is insane to us, but like that's not even a fifth of a kilometer. Or no, that is literally the exact fifth of a kilometer. Is it 200 meter radius or 200 meter diameter? I forget if it's a radius or diameter. But even if let's say it's a 200 meter radius, like he's the center point and then it's 200 meters out around him, so it has a 400 meter diameter, that's still not even half a kilometer. Which, if my conversion is right, is still shorter than a mile. So like, for a whole nation of any decent size, domain expansioning would actually be kind of worthless unless he pops multiple. Like he pops one, runs 800 meters, opens another one exactly 400 meters from where he was, and then goes again and again and again and again and just opens domains endlessly. Because we know he grants his technique to the domain. But I'm not sure. We've never seen him activate simultaneous domain expansions. I think that's probably a little bit of a stretch. I don't think he can do all that, but I wouldn't say domain is even like a factor. He doesn't need it.
Is worshipped as a god to sacrifice for and pray to for good harvest. He crushed the military they had and made them submit to him with fear. That's a special grade, no doubt. Next is Kenjaku, and I just needed to get this out of the way because he literally has Geto's body and Chris technique, so he's by default special grade. As for special grade level, he's that as well, being stronger than Geto due to his experience, battle IQ, and extra curse technique. By the way, did you know that he had millions
I still don't know how he did this. I was waiting to see if he brought it up and I was able to bring it up. Let him finish.
of cursed spirits in his possession at one point? Yeah, he could have definitely ran up an entire continent if he wanted to.
I still don't know how he did that. Like, it is insane. This statement, like, it went over my head for the longest time. But then I was talking about Kenjaku to somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you know that all like the millions of cursed spirits released around Shibuya were all Kenjakus?" And I was like, That's not a thing, is it? But there is this panel here right now, right? The number of cursed spirits released is not less than 10 million. I don't care if like half of them were fly hits. 10 million? Do you realize how many balls that Kenjaku had to swallow in order to get 10 million curses in his gut to release them? What? And very specifically says release. It's not summoned. It's not spawned. It's not. That means they were being held. Kenny held 10 million cursed. Remember, he only had Geto's body for a year. And Geto, at the time of Zero, had like 6,000 total curses that he spread out. Hold on. Let me just do some quick maths. 10 million divided by 365. That means that, see, this it makes me question it. Because for this to be the case, for Kenjaku to have really had 10 million cursed spirits to be released on deck in his back pocket, it legitimately means he would have to have swallowed 27,397.3 cursed balls a day. Because once again, he had Geto's body for like a little over a year. Even if you were to have that, 17, or no, not 17, that's a bad math, ladies and gentlemen. 13,500 balls a day, assuming he had like an extra year and a half or something. That's insane. Which was what makes you wonder, like, where is he getting them from? Were there really 10 million curses running around that Geto was just, or Kenjaku was just, like what? I don't know. It's so absurd to me. That is arguably the most broken character in the series, dog. 10 million? And he had like Kuro level cursed spirits in there? Kuro level cursed spirits? Did he just release into the wild for the funsies? What? We'll see.
Yuji Itadori is the main boy everyone has been talking about for special grade status, and this isn't for no reason. He's boxing alongside the second strongest special grade Yuta and not holding him back in any way. He's the one who defeated Sukuna, the strongest sorcerer of all time, and holds not one but two curse techniques at his disposal. Not to mention he has reverse curse technique and now a domain expansion. Now, while I will admit he is at the special grade level, when it comes to being graded special grade, I don't really see how that could be possible.
Perfect. Okay. That's what I was waiting for it. I didn't think so either. And so many people, I don't know why, so many people hate that. Like, it doesn't matter. He still beats Geto, y'all. Like it doesn't change the fact that he still beats Geto. He very likely still beats the brakes off of Yuki before she even realizes what happened just because of the speed gap. You can make, I mean, they're funky arguments because of like domain expansion GG on Yuta's part and Rika obviously existing. And once again, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I made the video for y'all. But as was said a lot in the comment section on the poll that went out after that video went out, Yuji having SSK style soul damage, or the ability to damage the soul in the same way that Maki and Toji do with SSK, is straight headcanon. It is straight headcanon. There's nothing in the manga to suggest it. But hey, I'm fine going with headcanon. We can headcanon it up to the moon and back. But in that case, it's straight headcanon. So Yuji genuinely has no real win con against Yuta. I'll be honest. Because domain ain't it. Beating Yuta down ain't it. Because no matter how powerful you think Yuji is, he's not hitting harder than Ryu. He's not hitting harder than Ryu. The only thing you can make an argument for is that he grabs Yuta's throat and cleaves him with a speed advantage. Maybe that's it. But even then, Rika's not allowing that. Especially fully manifested Rika. And what does Yuji do once Yuta starts playing that trumpet? Gosh darn it. Whether it be inside or outside domain, he's cooked. He is cooked. But dash me though. Dash me. But I agree. Like I said, I think he genuinely loses to a nation. He doesn't have the stamina. He doesn't have the stamina, and he doesn't have the answer to La Bomba. The La Bomba Grande. Let's see.
Yuji's dismantles are weak. He needed to use binding vows to make them stronger. Of course, this isn't his fault. He just got them, but that could have been his main asset if he was trying to go against an entire country. His blood manipulation is also subpar. While he has supernova, that's not doing anything against any artillery standing against him. His actual biggest asset is his crazy physical stats and his punches, but it's like eventually Yuji just going to fall. Sukuna said Yuji reached his limit at the end despite dude only using a couple dismantles and like 2 blood manipulation techniques. Mind you, Yuji was hitting a bunch of black flashes. I don't quite see how Yuji can take down an entire country by himself with just a couple strong punches.
One thing though, I will admit, I always forget this. Black flashes do not restore cursed energy amount, just your output. They don't do anything for your cursed energy amount. I made the mistake previously in the video. Y'all corrected me on that. That's a mistake I made. My bad. My fault, OG. But yeah, that's the thing. They do not actually correct or restore any cursed energy amounts. They're exclusively, and I mean exclusively, for your output. And they raise your output and your understanding of cursed energy naturally. They put you on 120%, but they restore your output. They do not restore your cursed energy amounts. So that's why Yuji was truly running out of gas. Because remember, it wasn't just a couple dismantles. It wasn't just a little bit of blood manipulation he used. It was all that RCT. Even if he did have a cheaper RCT cost, because he could make his own blood with blood manipulation, that doesn't matter. He still was burning. He ran a gauntlet. When I do and I'm going to do that soon. When I do the Yuji pre-awakening and post-awakening breakdown, I probably will do that. I'll probably do pre-awakening, post-awakening, and then an overall one. 3 separate videos, just because I think the values change every single time. If you just go with pre-awakening Yuji, his performance is but important. And then you go with post-awakening Yuji, his performance is legendary. You go with the average median of the two, his performance falls somewhere in between. It's very, very, it's a little bit spicy. Trust me. But when I make that, I'll definitely talk about, like, Yuji's stamina is insane. It still is insane for how much he had to do so quickly. But let's see.
In a curse technique so weak that he had to make direct contact to cut a pillar. That man is not special grade, but you can give him special grade level. Kenjaku is a...
Ooh, yeah. Hakari, yeah. He literally boxes. He has too many statements. God darn, I don't care. He has too many statements. Because a lot of people, and I'll admit this, a lot of people when I was talking about Yuta and Hakari in the last, ironically enough, was the Gamblrr video I was talking about as well. A lot of people were like, well, that's a man. Cool statements, bro. Nothing implies a relative. And I think that is a little bit funky. I think the statements is meant to imply that Yuta still can be number 2 and people can be relative to him. And clearly Hakari is somewhat relative to Yuta and it makes sense in the universe. Yada, yada, yada. I made the argument before. But I'll really admit, I still think Yuta beats the brakes off of Hakari. I don't see Hakari winning. He is a pillow puncher. He is a pillow puncher to the extreme. Trust me. Don't let me say that Hakari may have a chance against Yuta. Fool you into thinking that I think that Hakari actually wins. Let that be known. I think I meant to say something else. What was I talking about? Yeah, that's another big issue Yuji has that I didn't even think about or talk about too much. He has no range. His range sucks. He's garbage. He never unlocks a regular dismantle. We never see him fire one range dismantle. Everything is contact. And I'm not sure how many people are on app. Let me not look that up. But essentially, think of the average... Stop it. think of if there are 1,000 people in a fighting force, which we know there are way more. If there are 1,000 people in a fighting force, then Yuji would have to go through individually and grab one person and beat the rest of the 1,000 people with that person. Or cleave that person, then cleave the next person, and cleave the next person. He doesn't have to do all that. He just needs to punch them and hit them while being assailed by countless artillery rounds, while being assailed by countless bits of knockout gas, stuff like that. Like, he has so much to push through with no range. And that's a big issue. You need range, or you need infinite stamina. Gojo has both. Or like the other special grades, you need the ability to not expend your own stamina. When Yuta uses Rika, that does not take anything from Yuta. Yuta essentially gets like a second health bar and a second character to fight with. He gets a party member that has infinite stamina, and he can send them out to do all the work. Geto has thousands of party members. Kenny had at one point millions of party members that can all send out and do his own thing without taking an ounce of his own curse energy. He can be there sipping a latte and not have to worry about losing a drop of curse energy. Same thing with Yuki. Well, then again, Garuda may take something from Yuki because it's a Shikigami that is an extension of her herself, but I still don't think it would take too much from her to send it up at high mass and drop it at high mass, and send it up at high mass and drop it at high mass. It'd take a while, but it'd be effective because no one could even see Garuda. It's a little bit tedious. But let's see. Hakari, yeah, special grade level. I'm not going to fight it. There we go. Let's talk about, what was I saying with Hakari being special grade level? If you just imply relativity, like, it's there. It's there. You imply relativity, he's special grade level. Like, I know people don't like Hakari, mainly because people use them against Yuta, but like, come on now, y'all. Come on. Like, you gotta at least admit he's special grade level. He's special grade level. Come on now. Uraume! That's who I forgot. That's who I forgot at the start. I mentioned Kashimo, I mentioned Sukuna, I mentioned a whole bunch of people. I forgot Uraume. Uraume, possibly also not special grade in terms of like soloing an entire nation. They'd see the ice. Maybe would they? Because it's cold cursed energy. I assume they could see the ice, or at least feel the effects of the ice, and they would notice it's all coming from one person. So like, drop it on her, drop it on them, they're cooked.
I find quite interesting in these talks because I think it's Hakari's alternating that allows him for his status from Gojo. Hakari has two forms, base and jackpot, and in base, while he is strong, special grade is super far-fetched. Notice how I didn't say special grade level though, because Hakari in base is way too underrated by the community. I'll get into that in a second though. However,
yeah, the only I hate it. I hate it because it makes no sense. I hate it. Base Hakari fought Uraume. It's not Uraume, it's Uraume. But base Hakari fought Uraume for a minute. The Kashimo versus Sukuna fight was quick, but it wasn't like 2 seconds. Despite Uraume's drastic scale of attacks and abilities, they were not able to fight Hakari and beat him before he got Jackpot. Uraume's special grade level, easily. We see her tag Maki. We see them tag Maki. Though actually no, it is revealed that Uraume was a man in the Heian era, but then got incarnated into a female vessel in the modern era. I've heard debate on whether or not it was at their own request or just Kenjaku running a practical joke, but I think it was their own request because like Kenjaku didn't bother to check with anybody else, but they checked with Uraume. So like Uraume, no, it's Uraume. But I don't know. There's that. But still, regardless, they're special grade level. Hakari fights them, yeah, naturally.
Hakari in his jackpot state is where the talks get interesting because this state is underrated. I didn't mention this earlier, but in my original video from 2 years ago, I actually said that Yuta was special grade because Rika had a blast and Yuta had cursed speech. Clearly after 2 years I know how stupid that sounds, and so now it makes sense why Hakari's special grade talks are so prominent. Like I said already in this video, I think it was Rika's immense strength paired with her unlimited curse energy that made Yuta special grade. She would go on a rampage and never slow down. The same can be said with Hakari and Jackpot. Within Jackpot mode, Hakari has access to infinite curse energy. He never gets tired and there's no slight fatigue like Gojo with the 6 eyes. None of that. He has infinite curse energy that constantly flows throughout him. With that, it enabled him to have the best reverse curse technique in the entire series. So in Jackpot, Hakari will be immortal and have 0 signs of slowing down. That right there is a state fit for special grade, just like Rika and Sukuna. Insanely powerful but with insane stamina. Hakari will never let up, and so taking out a country while it won't be easy would be in view because time doesn't matter, he has no limits. With that being said, Hakari himself isn't special grade, but it's when he turns into Jackpot that he becomes one. As for special grade level, he was there before even getting introduced.
That's interesting. I guess, yeah, it's never really confirmed that he gets tired. It would take him forever, because he's a punching kick. He has no range. What does he do? What does Hakari do if I guess, does he really live that, though? Does he really live that, though? Does he really live? Call me bold. I don't think he survives a little boy dropping on him. Not in that way. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I think he gets vaporized and isn't coming back from that. I think that would do enough damage to his brain to just off instant. Because he can't punch. What's he going to do? Punch it? Run away from it? I don't think he's special grade. I don't think he's a special grade tier. Well, I don't think he qualifies for special grade. In the same way that I don't think Yuta qualifies for it by himself. He may be extremely durable. He may be extremely powerful. He may be able to literally fight forever. But he does not have an answer to the ults of a country. He doesn't have an answer to that. I think he does legit. His brain gets atomized. And it's not regenerating from that. Hakari's RCT still does have limits. And I think that's the limit. I don't think, unlike someone like Sukuna, where you can definitely consistently argue state level or even way above, I don't think you can really argue that for Hakari. So if something like that gets dropped on his head, his whole body is getting vaporized. The thing that Uraume and Kashimo struggled with is specifically taking off his head quickly enough. I think the instantaneous destruction and vaporization that a certain type of weapon would do to Hakari, that takes him out. I agree with Gamblrr in the sense that if he's just fighting people, then yeah, he's good. Unlike a Yuji problem, he would never run out of stamina. And since we know, at least in their universe, every single person on the planet, except for Toji and Maki, and in this case, by the time of the end of the narrative, just Maki, has at least a drop of curse energy. They just can't do anything about it. He can consistently hit Jackpot. Like, they will all be affected, naturally. So he is good. He would have to consistently reset, but no regular person is beating her. Ooh, there isn't... he would have to get instant Jackpots, though. Because the main issue Hakari would run into is when he's one-on-oneing somebody to get his next jackpot, someone's going to shoot the barrier. They won't be able to see it, but they'll notice Hakari and one of their soldiers disappear, and they'll likely keep attacking. Like, they just wouldn't know what's happening. It really depends. Like, can they see the barrier? I actually don't know. But they'd be able to feel it, because we know that even the random people in Shibuya, the main reason there was an issue, Kenjaku brings this up, he's like, you know, if he does open his domain, he's going to crush everybody outside the barrier. They won't be able to tell what's going on, but they'll be crushed by it. So someone's going to see it, and someone's going to strike that force. Or they're going to hit that. And then if his domain shatters, while he's trying to get the next jackpot, if it's not instantaneous, he's cooked. Because his technique is going to be shut down. He's going to be in base, and then he just gets riddled. So yeah, Hakari's not special grade. He's not a special grade sorcerer, because there are too many ways to finish him. In spite of his immortality, because it's not like he's only immortal for 4 minutes and 11 seconds, then he has to refresh it. Sometimes he can refresh it instantly, like we saw in the Kashimo fight, but sometimes it may take a minute. In a minute, it's all a country needs, at least in my opinion. But let's see.
Statement alone puts him at that level. Maki and Toji Zenin are next, and they're an anomaly in the system. If you didn't know, Gege was actually asked directly if Toji would have been special grade, and Gege didn't answer it, but instead he made it known that the higher-ups don't care for grading the heavily restricted. This is why, no matter how strong they would have become...
Mekamaru is also special grade. He's a special grade tier sorcerer. He can solo nation. Can they see the puppets? Are the puppets visible? I actually don't know. Are the puppets? I think they're made of stuff. They're infused with curse energy. If they're visible. If they're visible, it'll take a minute. Yeah, it'll take a minute. His range is good enough that he covers all of Japan, though. That's how good his range is. We know that. That's stated. So it'd be tough. It'd be tough because I think he would eventually get beaten because he doesn't have literally infinite robots, and they're perceivable. I think you can see him. So Mekamaru, he technically has special grade levels of output. Kenjaku notes that, but in terms of being special grade himself, he could do it if he plays it smart and is in a good hiding spot while using. I don't think Ultimate Mekamaru souls the nation though. He gets. Once again, the same issue that happens to everybody who could almost do it is when something big and heavy and juicy drops on their dome piece. Then they're cooked. It's as easy as that. Mekamaru runs into that same problem. He's trying to use Ultimate Mekamaru. Even if he tries to use an army, I don't think it's enough. Let's see.
They wouldn't be graded anyways because they're not actual sorcerers like the other special grade.
And once again, they are supposed to... I said it before and I'll say it again. They're special grade tier sorcerer threats. We literally see them fight special grades in some cases. Or... No. We actually don't see any of them. Because it's unconfirmed. I always think, because of that one statement from Geto and the way that Geto and Gojo, at least pre-awakening, are implied to be relative, I don't think like they're special grades at the time of the hidden inventory arc when Toji's alive. Once he awakens, Gojo becomes special grade, and once Geto gets more curses, he becomes special grade. But I think that's like a whole year later. I don't think they're actually special grade at the start. They're grade 1s. So Toji doesn't actually fight any special grades. He fights special grade curses, but not any special grade sorcerers. He doesn't fight Yuki. He doesn't fight Yuta. And neither of them fight an adult Geto or Kenjaku. So yeah, technically, they never actually fought special grade tier sorcerers. We just know they are because of the rest of their scaling. Actually, no, they fought Sukuna, but that relativity is barely there.
With that being said though, they're on this list because they're at the very least special grade level. Toji himself was relative to Teen Gojo before his awakening, and that Gojo himself has an argument for special grade. Just like I said before, Gojo has the 6 size, so he has basically infinite curse energy. The only thing is his strain from not having reverse curse technique. The main thing of note from this is that Toji is at the very least relative to that, but Maki is the main one carrying here. She's put on the level of Yuta and Hakari all the time. She fought Sukuna herself and was dubbed a heavy hitter by Kenjaku, so she's definitely on that level. As for the title of special grade, that one's more complicated.
No.
Maki has actually already shown us a glimpse of her expertise in, massacres. She utterly obliterated the Zenin clan, with everyone being a wielder and skilled manipulator of curse energy, and some of them with their own curse techniques. She then went on to Lotif, the strongest and fastest in the entire clan, Naoya, all with multiple nerfs. For one, she wasn't at full power regarding her heavenly restriction. This meant she didn't have the precognition she has now, as well as the ability to jump on air. Second, she was suffering from blood loss because just a moment ago her dad almost killed her. So regardless of the previous nerf, she was nowhere near her full strength. And the final thing is her sword being a regular sword. Soul Split Katana was literally just a katana in the hands of that Maki. This of course goes hand in hand with the first point, because this was due to her incomplete heavenly restriction that she couldn't use it to the best of its capabilities. With a full heavenly restriction, Maki should be able to attack the soul of literally everything she touches with the katana. This means she one-shots every single human she encounters, but also she'd one-shot all artillery put against her. The durability and the toughness of the object would not matter if they have a soul, and Maki's able to see it all. All of this applies to Toji as well. He has the original Soul Split Katana with a full heavenly restriction and a whole inventory of weapons to use if need be. Did I also mention that they have insane stamina? I don't really see why the two of them individually would not be able to cook a whole country. Nothing they have can work against them. They slice the souls of literally everything standing in front of them. I'll definitely give them that title.
I wouldn't. What? And is that cheating? Is that a? Because like I guess if I remove la bamba grande, yo no sé, yo no entiendo. Porque solo la bamba grande es eso. It's just that. They get cooked by that. They are not, at least unless I'm absolutely Buku, they're not outrunning that. And I'm a Maki and Toji meat and muncher. Y'all know this. I don't think they do it because of that. Of course, no human's gonna challenge them. Of course, they're not gonna get hit by anything regular. You can literally send a fighter jet that goes at Mach 1 at them, and they'd slice it in half as they backflip over it. Naturally, they'd be fine on that front. But it really is it's a wombo combo. Of course, we never see Toji or Maki complain or run out of stamina, but a nation is big. A nation is like they're gonna get a little bit eepy, bro. Like you could strap 5 energy drinks to their waist as like power packs, and I think they'd still run out of juice eventually. Even the best, like I know there are like insane stamina feats. What is the world record for the longest plank? Set by George Hood at 5 hours and 15 minutes. I think it would take them because that's the thing. It's the same issue that I mentioned with Yuji. They have no range. They have no way to wipe out massive swaths of people. And of course, with Soul Split Katana, they're going to have no problem slicing through things and people and artillery. But the issue is they have to hit everybody. If there are 1,000 people, they need to swing Soul Split Katana 1,000 times. If there's 10,000 people, 10,000 times. If there's 100,000 people, like that's a lot a lot, and they will run out of juice eventually. At least in my opinion. I don't think they have infinite stamina. They are not saying they have infinite stamina like Gojo. They're at the peak of humanity, but humans can still get tired, even at their peaks. So, like, I don't think they do it. I don't think, especially if La Bamba Grande is involved, I don't think they do it. I don't think so. They don't have the proxies. They have to be there themselves. They have to slice every single person individually, every bit of artillery. They have to do everything themselves. And I don't think it's enough. But hey, I mean, if Gamblrr wants to glaze them, who am I to stop? Okay, we stop.
Kashimo is up next, and this is another really weird case.
No, he's special grade level, but not special grade sorcerer. I mean, like, how long do you think? No, because it's not enough. The scale of the attacks isn't big enough. Because Kashimo has range in NBA. In NBA, he has range. He has the electromagnetic blast. But they just aren't shown to be big enough. We don't know how long NBA lasts, but it's on a time limit. He's destroying himself. If it lasts half an hour, he's not telling a nation. Even with the scale of his attacks. Or really, because of the scale of his attacks. He can't.
Kashimo is definitely special grade level. He was fighting against Jackpot Hakari, who we said is special grade level, even though Hakari was just stronger, but that's a topic for another day.
I'll let it slide.
Anyways, as for the other side, can Kashimo actually take down an entire country?
No.
The first thing I will say is that Kashimo can't by any means use his curse technique. His curse technique is a one-time use only, and as soon as he pops it, he's on a time limit. When he used it against Sukuna, it's told to us that Kashimo's curse technique pushes his body way past the limits of humans. And because of that, as soon as it turns off, his body will crumble. It's a suicide curse technique basically, so we have to focus on just his base form. I just want to make it known that if his curse technique was infinite, yeah, he would be special grade.
If it was infinite, yeah, but it's not. And either way, he'd run out of curse energy.
In base, the only thing dude has regularly is his martial arts and his staff. That is not gonna cut it, and he doesn't even have a reverse curse technique. But I did say regularly because the one thing he can count on is his lightning. This is what puts Kashimo on that high level in base. Without it, Hakari would have deleted him way easier than he did. The thing is, I can't really just sit here and act like he can just spam this and take down an entire country because of it. He would definitely have a good run and go a long time because none of the things I mentioned take actual curse energy, but I need something more for me to just say, yeah, he's special grades. Y'all can tell me in the comments if I'm bugging though. Next I have your...
He is not bugging. Not bugging. He's right. Like, there's no way. I love base Kashimo. Kind of. But still, no.
Uraume is special grade level. They were still making Hakari a special grade sorcerer like we said earlier, but also Kusakabe implies that they could stall Yuta as well if they were to fight. This is all obvious and I don't think anyone disagrees with this, but I want to focus on their fight with Hakari. I've never talked about this on the channel for real, but I think base Hakari is way stronger than we thought. In chapter 237, Hakari traps Uraume in his domain expansion, and at the end of chapter 238, we see Hakari and Uraume exited with Hakari smiling and fully clothed. We see this again in chapter 2.
It makes no... I hate it. It makes sense because we need to have those two fight. But it makes no sense. That makes no... Because that doesn't make it out. I hate it. I hate it, but he's right. Base Hakari lasted at least like 3 minutes with Uraume. Make your jokes. But like... We know he lasted way more than 3 minutes when he hit Jackpot. But still, make the jokes all you want. Like, it's true. He just did it. And like, if you really want to glaze, if you want to get down on your knees, unzip Hakari and go crazy on him, technically even Maki couldn't do that. Well, then again, that was a max output Frostcom, and a lot of the output was focused on. But like, Uraume couldn't take out Hakari, even with that access to max output Frostcom. Clearly, he wasn't dodging stuff. So like, Maki couldn't do it. It's a weird feat. Trust me, I don't like it either. As a Maki meat muncher, I don't like it either. But it happened. Oh, it happened.
45, there are no clothes gone on him, but we literally see like a couple pages later that if Uraume hits him at all in any way, at least a part of his clothes will be ripped off. That means that in base, Hakari didn't get hit by Uraume at all. No, Hakari wouldn't use pseudo spins because his domain expansion isn't in guaranteed jackpot mode, and even if he did use them, there is still an interval between the re-scenario and getting the jackpot. If you're lost on what I'm talking about, go watch this video. I'll tag it right here. Also, this isn't a case of Gege just forgetting because we literally see him make Hakari lose more clothes between chapter 245 and chapter 252. This gives credence to an argument I made a year ago about Hakari's fighting style. In base, when he has no way to guarantee a heal, he won't fight as recklessly as he does in Jackpot. So base Hakari is able to avoid damage from Uraume. That's special grade level right there. Anyways, as for Uraume themselves, I can't really say they can take down an entire country. They have good RCT and good damage control, but I don't think just freezing everything will give them the chance to overtake a country. I need a little more just to give them that. Ryu Ishigori.
I agree. Now Ryu, I'm interested in what he says about Ryu. Because if we're glazing and we remove La Bamba Grande, Ryu could do it. No, he couldn't. The stamina, that's the thing. We don't know stamina-wise. He'd be able to do real good, though.
Is a character I included in this list in that video 2 years ago, and it still holds in my opinion. He's definitely special grade level. I know Yuta fans don't want to hear this or believe it, which I respect, but Ryu was boxing with him. Before going into this feat, I need y'all to remember this. When you're significantly damaged, you become weaker. Peep Yuki, for example. Now look at Ryu. This guy is significantly damaged. Then he continues to one-shot half manifested Rika, but his punch was also stated to be too much for full power Rika, so she's basically a non-factor between Yuta and Ryu's battle. He also had a domain expansion and was overpowering Yuta in hand-to-hand combat. They're relative whether you like it or not. As for the title of special
My glorious King Ryu
grade, I actually think he takes it. He doesn't have reverse curse technique, but that doesn't really matter since Ryu has monstrous durability. His durability was so good, Sukuna needed to use durability adjustment to kill him. But what makes me think he could take down an entire country is his curse technique. Ryu's curse technique is basically creating blast with curse energy, and with it, we can see him casually creating city levels of destruction. And he just goes on to spam this kind of thing. He has the most curse energy output of anyone in JJK outside of Sukuna and Gojo as well. The fact that he just casually has this level of...
Y'all may hate me when I say this. I think he has higher output than Sukuna. I rewrite so rarely. I mention it all the time, but I rewrite so rarely. I think he has higher output than Sukuna. Because he has the statement. He has a statement from Big Kenny. And why would Big Kenny be lying? And that statement isn't even to Ryu, it's to Kashimo about Ryu. And Kenny was around when Sukuna was around. Obviously, let's not play games. So he knows Sukuna's output. And he knows Ryu, and Sukuna's output was definitely recorded. So like, he has that statement from the flashback. So even if you disregard the Culling Games statement, which I don't blame you, because you can definitely argue Sukuna isn't a registered Culling Games player, because he's either registered under Yuji Itadori or Megumi Fushiguro whenever he is existing. So you can definitely say he isn't a participant of the Culling Games. But he falls under the highest curse energy output ever was recorded in Date province. That statement, that includes Sukuna. I think Sukuna and Gojo have relative output. So like, you could argue. I mean, it's not like obviously Sukuna and Gojo are still stronger. They still wipe him. But like, if you want to take that statement as literally as possible, you don't try that. But yeah. Once again, the only issue I see with Ryu is how long can he do it? Obviously, that big old city block wiping Granite Blast he launches at the start of the Sendai colony, yeah, that's doing numbers. That's no person is surviving that. The buildings couldn't survive it, and people are less durable than buildings. Shock horror. But how many times can he do that? And how many times did he get a chance to do that before La Bamba Grande drops on his dome piece? And I was like, like, that's it. Because they'd be able to see him. They wouldn't be able to see what's happening. They wouldn't be able to see the Curse Energy Blast itself. The Grand Blast itself wouldn't do anything, but they're going to see a man standing there with a pompadour yelling about how he's him and hungry. And they're going to drop La Bamba Grande on him. And he loses. I don't think he's taking that. He's durable. I don't think he's that durable. Or the radiation poisoning would get him. He doesn't have RCT built in.
Power that he can just throw around makes me think a country would fold almost instantly of going against this guy. Yorozu is kind of a controversial pick, but
Nah, special grade level, obviously, but Sorcerer, I don't think so. Once again, it's a stamina issue. It's a stamina issue and it's a deficiency issue. Sure, she could use Perfect Spear and drag it around. It has infinite AP, right? Crushes everything. That's a lot of lugging you gotta do. And what's she gonna do in the bug armor? One by one, take out every single one? She has slight range with the liquid metal, but I don't think it's enough. I think she would fall short one way or another.
think she should be included if Uraume is. She was at the very least pressing 15-finger Sukuna as we see her outpace his defenses. This scene right here carries everything in my opinion. We see her hit him while he's trying not to be hit. Even if Sukuna is holding back, any version of Sukuna past like 5 fingers is special grade level, so it's all up to that.
1 finger Sukuna special grade. Because I say this boldly, and I know some people are like, handsome, how could you? But, yo, yokoza, watashi wa sou society desu ka? Sorry, Aizen took over. But, what proves that the fingers make him stronger? We know there are cursed energy limits. We know you can only reinforce your body so much. We know 1 finger Sukuna cursed energy is more than enough. Nothing in the manga or in any data books or anything says his output is reliant on the fingers he has. Nothing. It doesn't exist. You can search for that statement all up and down the manga through all 271 chapters. You can look back and front, cover to cover. It's not there. Nothing is there. We get no explanation about what those stupid fingers do other than give him cursed energy. And if that's the case, we know the amount of cursed energy does not matter. Your output will cap. Hakari's output capped. Rika's output capped. Both have boundless and or infinite cursed energy. So giving Sukuna more cursed energy does not mean he's going to automatically get stronger. 1 finger Sukuna is just as physically strong as 20 finger Sukuna. It's just he has less cursed energy, which we know ultimately doesn't even matter to Sukuna because of how efficient he is. So yeah, even 1 finger Sukuna is special grade level. And a special grade sorcerer. I think he could solo nation. And you may be like, that is insane, Pencil. And I will agree, it sounds insane. But from what the manga has given me, I can say not else. But let's see.
For taking down a country, this one's kind of weird. It's literally stated that Yorozu's cursed energy efficiency was because of how taxing construction as a curse technique is. So as a result, she decided to create the bug armor we see her use against Sukuna. She's able to fly and she has better durability and strength. But that's it. Her armor was literally broken by brute force. The only thing going for her is the sphere, which theoretically would just kill everyone hit by it, but I can't really just sit here and act like this attack is enough for
language.
her. I'm not giving her that title, but you guys can tell me what you think in the comments. Mekamaru, yes, you heard that correctly. Mekamaru is on this list. He is not special grade level by any mean, but I do think he'd be a special grade if he were to come out alive against Mahito. Not only does Kenjaku himself state that the blasts he was letting out were at least special grade, but also he's literally an army maker. Look at this volume cover. You're telling me if the higher ups saw this, they wouldn't immediately give him special grade?
Issue is though, they are made. They are not made of cursed energy, meaning I think a nation could solo it. I think he'd get far, but unless he literally has hundreds of thousands of them and can distribute his cursed energy to control all of them at once, he's not gonna do it. He just doesn't have enough. He needs more. They need more autonomy and they need to be invisible. At least in my opinion. At least a solo nation. But special grade level, I mean, it's there. It's there. I can see it. But the ultimate Mekamaru, probably has the output.
An army of Mekamarus as well as ultimate Mekamaru that had Hunter with special grade level attacks. That's easy. With all that being said, I yapped about a ton of characters who might have fit the bill for special grade, but also special grade level. What did you guys think though? Did I miss anyone? Let me know down in the comments. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Yep. Alright. Oh no. It's Restless Gamblrr. A great content creator. What's the sword doing? Yo, what the sword doing? Yeah. Worthy video, obviously. And I agree. There's some places where I disagree with them on. Like Ryu and your Makis and your Toji. But like, it's so funny. I know some of y'all in the comment section are gonna have a field day with me disagree with Gamblrr on that. But overall, W video. I can see his points, I see his argument, and I think his list is pretty valid. Once again, off the dome piece, I don't think you missed anybody. No one else was relevant. Because a lot of the JJK verse is far. But with that being the case, if you went all the way to the end of this video, please leave level grade. What you may be like, where's the special in that? There isn't. But level grade in the comment section down below. And the thanks so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that lonely case bell so you not miss out on any music of the channel. Also don't have a Patreon below, or you support me for as low as $1 non-monthly, things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions to every the series I have for review, ad-free variations of all my videos, and becoming $12 Patreon or a $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do a link to my Ko-Fi and description down below, where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, so any beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Zara, Greyhound, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Brandon Payne, Glacier XZ, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 members, A+A, Ignil Lind, Kevin Encarnacion, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 members, Fine, Austin Wimberly, A Uchiha, and Yuki Ally. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members, AZ Void, J Warrior, and Robbie Uchiha. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our $10 patrons, Overlord Zero, Waki Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give a final gracious gargantuan thank you to our $100 That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.